27 degrees SAG. I'm your host, Kim Lalo. I'm a certified astrologer, Western and Chinese, Feng Shui consultant, a psychic, an author, a psychic medium. And I also do a type of, everybody says Reiki, and a type of healing on hands as well, remotely as well. I'm here tonight because we're going to be talking about everything that's happening in the cosmos in June, especially the first part of June. I'm going to introduce you to a little bit about how the amplification is going to be taking place personally in your chart. Do you have your birth chart? If you do not have your Western astrology birth chart, go to my website, kimlalo.com, request one. I'd be more than happy to send it to you. And if you need me to go through it with you, you can also book time with me in a session, half hour or an hour, and we can go through all of that. If you're interested in Feng Shui, Feng Shui is one of these in-depth subjects. There's a lot of different formulas, especially when you tie them into your Chinese birth chart. However, we are having a very, very important 20-year change coming up. February 4th of 2024. Get ready for it. I would love to prepare you for your sacred space, your office. If your children are going away to college, if you're building a new home and you need to maybe tweak some things that you're building with your architect, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to the belief system of Feng Shui, how it works, and also your different elements as well. You have a lot of personal imprints. People always say, oh, you're very unique. There's no one like you. There's souls that come in and they're born at the same time, the same date, the same year. Very rarely the exact moment at the same latitude and longitude. Even twins are a couple of minutes apart, and that could mean that they have a different moon sign or a different rising sign. All of these things come into play, but you do have a very unique sound. You have a very unique recipe, alchemy of elements that are made up as your particular blueprint, your soul vibration. Our soul, our oversoul, is so huge that it can only bring in a portion of it here into the third dimension, into this particular model of a human body. So it gets very specific on the slice of pie that is coming in, when it's coming in, where it's coming in, who you chose for your parents, what lessons you chose to learn, and many, many other ingredients that go into your soul imprint. And there's a lot of different ways, and I call them little gifts that you get to unwrap. So you get to know yourself, because when you arrive on planet Earth, the vibratory rate is so dense that the veil, thank goodness it's getting thinner, but the memory goes away, especially when you come of age. And when you come of age, that's about 6 or 7, depending on when that happens. And your memory of perhaps your past lives or some of the lessons that you've learned in those lives really become muted. Okay, it becomes very foggy. It becomes like, I'm so used to now how to eat and play and walk and run, and you're starting to learn different studies, and you're used to your family and your parents, and what that combination and synergy is all about. But I want to say that When you are very, very young, your elements are on display. They're very bright. They contain light. Even though you're very small, you are able to show the ones around you your mission, your purpose, your talents, your gifts. And these are the things that show up in your chart that you need to unwrap again once you are interested and your curiosity piques you in some way or another for your spiritual journey. So I'm here to assist you in that. I'm here to show you your mandala. I'm here to show you the purpose on why you're on the planet. I'm here to show you the different cycles of life. That's very important. You know, some people um, we live in a place that has the different seasons where we really get to see the different cycles just in one year that Mother Earth goes through. And sometimes we live in a place where the seasons are very subtle, but there are seasons and there is a rhythm to life. And a lot of these particular opportunities or these lessons come through in specific cycles. And the specific cycles um, are tied to the planets, the nodes, the sun, the moon. And that's why a lot of people, when they understand the different rhythms, when they understand the different purposes um, of the gifts of the cosmos, they feel as though they're secretly enlightened somehow. It's almost like they've just passed a huge exam and they're the ones that know all the secrets. So once you know yourself, you know the rhythms of astrology, you know about the moon cycles are really easy to learn, but you learn about the deeper cycles of the universe, not just our galaxy, but the universe. And you learn how these particular, let's just say, eruptions or chaos that come into the life really are tied to a lot of these rhythms that we're talking about. The full moon, and in June, we're going to have the full strawberry moon on June 3rd. This particular full moon is going to present in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, for all of you out there, Sagittarius is in everyone's chart somewhere, and I'd love for to introduce you to exactly what area of your chart Sagittarius is in, if you don't know that already. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I'm opening up the chat room here, and I hope everybody is getting in. Hi there. Yes, I want to say hi to Bill, and I want to say hi to Thomas, and I know that Sheena and Amy are listening, and I want to say um, hi to Liana and Kyla, and also want to wish a happy birthday to Stephanie. It is her birthday today, and anybody else out there that's having a birthday, come on aboard. I'd love to say hi and wish you some beautiful birthday blessings. So, getting back to this full moon in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a fire sign, and this particular full moon is going to be at 13 degrees, almost at 13 degrees. And what we've got going on is we've got the planet of Saturn. Saturn is a disciplinary planet. It likes to put up boundaries. It likes for you to work within the boundaries. It's kind of like the code of ethics. And with Sages, that's kind of hard for Sages. Sages, they're freedom lovers. They want to travel the world. They want to gain more wisdom. They want to remember the wisdom that they've been given. They're very good speakers, talkers, salespeople. They love to communicate. They love to inspire. They're very optimistic. And when you have Saturn that's going to be squaring or challenging Sagittarians are going to have to watch what they say. They're going to have to um, watch what they're dreaming about and the goals that they have. And, a lot of times when people are bragging about themselves, oh, you're kind of a blowhard. And, you overpromise and underdeliver. And Saturn is actually going to help Sagittarius. Saturn is going to be there saying, hey, you know what? You are going to walk the talk. You are really going to show them that not only, do you like to take the floor or the soapbox, so to speak, but you really have something to say. So what you have to say is going to be presented in a serious way. It's going to be optimistic, yet it's going to be very practical. So it's almost as if you're wanting to inspire someone, but be very truthful. Of course, Sages are very honest, almost brutally honest, but they're going to do it in a way that is, I want to say, attainable. They're going to inspire you in a way of not just saying, hey, get out there and expand and grow because I'm ruled you know, by Jupiter that just wants to bring everything bigger and better into your life. But this is going to make it that you don't overexpand, overexert, overpromise. You also don't overbook yourself. You take things and you put boundaries on them, even though you're growing, even though it's rippling underneath, you are going to grow healthy. And so, with this particular full moon, full moons are always very, I want to say, emotional, they can be dramatic. Jupiter loves to say bigger is better here. Bigger is better. So if you're planning on doing something this weekend, I love Saturday, the full moon in Sag. I love to suggest a group of people getting together and really having a good time. I suggest that you take a little short trip somewhere. Sages love to travel. They love to travel internationally. They love to experience different philosophies. And that's why I'm saying, wow, Feng Shui would be great for people who are getting their houses ready for the summer season or perhaps the fall season in Australia or in the Southern Hemisphere. I'd love for you to research, read, get on the internet, and maybe get a different philosophy going on if you have not checked out something vegan or organic, or perhaps some other way of providing fuel and source for yourselves. That would be a really great time to do it. Also, this is a perfect time for planning your trips and your vacations, and also for how are you going to expand your spiritual journey. Is it learning astrology? Is it learning Reiki? Is it learning all about how herbs can help your health? Sagittarius, overall, in general, they're going to be learning about their health. They're going to be learning about what's not working anymore. As you, as your frequency tunes into a higher space, you need more hydration. You need more amino acids. You need to build your body in a way that you probably haven't learned about yet. And this is something where the frequency can be enhanced through sound, through using color. Some people get stuck in a rut of one color only, or perhaps no color. They feel like, you know, I I I don't feel confident enough to walk into a room with something loud. I don't feel comfortable with wearing anything but black. I don't feel comfortable in combining colors together. They feel unorganized or perhaps mismatched or perhaps an eyesore a lot of times. So, this is a great time to learn how to use color frequency. Colors are tied to elements, they're tied to places on the planet. If you are in, let's just say, the element of wood, if you are in a wood cycle, you know, Jupiter is going to expand that for you, and you may want to visit forests or mountains, or you're going to want to wear a lot of green. You're going to want to also combine those with supporting elements. Well, what floats the element of wood? Water. So you're going to want to maybe, perhaps learn how to fish, learn how to fuel yourself, look for resources, those kinds of things. So this is going to be a time where you may be educating yourself on our galaxy, our newfound planets, and what's really going on out there. The tried and true are great to know, but you know what? There's new explorations and there's new findings all of the time, and this is a wonderful, wonderful time to broaden your horizons, travel, eat at a place you've never been, perhaps maybe at an international um, uh, place, like Thai food or Chinese food, or if you want to go to a place that serves food from India, or you want to experience something that's international. Maybe you'd like to watch an international sport. Tennis goes international right now. They're playing in France. And so it's one of those things where everything that is international is going to be highlighted, and it's going to be expanded in some way or another during this particular full moon. And I also want to say that that Leo Leo and Mars are together, and with this, it's going to be very dramatic. So I predict that there's going to be more rain, there's going to be more action, as far as the tides are really going to be pulling in a very dramatic way. So be careful of riptides if you're on the ocean. Also, I feel as though because Leo and Mars are working together, and that's all fire energy there as well. When we get that combination with Sagittarius, there could be some volcanic action going on. Also, some shifting. You may hear about this internationally. I was doing some research about this as well. So there could be a lot of things happening. Personal. On the global scale. But personally, how is this really going to affect you? This is key, okay? Because This particular full moon is in Sag at 13 degrees. It is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter happens to be at 4 degrees, and your north, or the north node in the sky right now, is at 3 degrees. They were conjunct totally. They were sitting on each other at 3 degrees. Now they're 1 degree apart, but they're still in conjunction. They're still holding hands. Jupiter is expanding, showing you your personal path, why you are here. The North Node is your compass. It's where you're going forward. It's where you're going into the future, where you're stepping into the future. If you'd like to take your astrology chart, it's cut up into 12 houses or 12 pieces of pizza, if you want to look at it that way. And so I'm going to go through each section of the 12 houses. And if you have Taurus, which is happening right now, if you have your North Node and Jupiter in Taurus right now, and I'm going to tell you exactly where your life is going to be highlighted. Are you guys ready? Okay, cool. If it's happening in your first house, if you don't know what the houses are or where it is, like I said, you can always go to my website, kimlallow.com, and I'll hook you up and everything will be great. But if it's going into your first house, this is the very first step in the cycle of 12 years. You are coming in, you are breaking down doors, your profile is high, you've got a lot of energy. The spotlight is on your identity, is what you can accomplish. So with this, you may overbook yourself. You may have more energy than you know what to do with. Be careful of burnout, of course, especially with this full moon in Sagittarius. But you're going to be picking up the new cutting edge for the next 12 years intuitively. So I want you to pay close attention to what signals you're getting, what downloads you're getting, because the first house is all about your identity. People are going to be getting to know you. You're going to be getting to know other people. So it's going to be you're going to get a lot of attention as well. Make sure you know how to handle that, and make sure that you balance out your energy and how much energy you direct per project or per communication in your interactions. Now, if you have it in your second house, that's the second step in a 12-year cycle. You're going to experience expansion of money. Now, expansion of money and abundance can come in different ways. It can, let's say, invite you or give you an opportunity to not only grow what you've got in the bank and what you consider your value, but you can grow in your investments as well. You can grow in the knowledge of how to deal with money. You can actually understand your financial responsibilities and how it ties into your direct growth for the future. So this is very important if you're in the second house, about how to accumulate wealth and abundance. And this can be on a spiritual journey. This can be on a financial journey. This can really be that you are appreciating the value of every moment. You are appreciating your own value. You're also appreciating the lessons of people not valuing you because you will go in another direction. So you're saying, how can I be of more value in the future? I'll take responsibility for it, but I have to learn how to direct that energy to handle the wealth and to handle all of that. If you're having this in the third house is the Jupiter conjunction with the North Node we're talking about, if you're just tuning in. This is your way of casting your net, and that net is going to be huge. It's going to broaden, and you're going to be collecting new resources, new friends, new ideas, new trips, new lessons in communicating with others or how to communicate with others. You're also going to learn that that communication can be a resource for you to hold on to and embed a new pattern in your life, that you will be able to sustain that level of communication. Yeah. And that's always really good. Always really good. If it's the fourth house, the fourth piece of the pie in the 12 cycles of Jupiter, the fourth house rules your home. It rules your belief systems handed to you by your parents. And so what you're going to be doing is you are going to be using this growth spurt for perhaps expanding your home, adding onto it. Also, you're going to be adding on to and appreciating the value of real estate, what it can do for you as far as setting you up for the future. Those particular family beliefs, systems that were passed down to you from your parents, and this can be any belief system. This can be, let's just say, I'm half Irish proverbs, or this is what we did, because we were Irish, or, if you come from a Jewish background, these are the belief systems we live by, or these particular laws are sacred. These are going to be expanded to the point that if they're not going to take you into the future, if they're not going to serve you any longer, you will say, you know what, I'm going in a new direction. These have nothing to do with me or my family, or I have to adjust them because it's no longer positive growth within the family. So any kind of belief systems that you are now innovating or putting into place, or perhaps you want to do something to bind your family together, tie a thread around your family that each and every one of you can share, participate, cooperate in. This is the time to do it. This is the time to make your home a sacred space. Again, I'm going to throw Feng Shui in there because it's so important. It's a third of your life. And so I'm going to do that. But pick something that you can incorporate into your family, whether it's everybody cooking or everyone doing a sport, or everyone perhaps hand making something, or I know a lot of families that are getting back into quilting. And that's not just for the girls either. The guys are really liking, that they're able to make something with their hands, and it doesn't have to be a machine, but quilting can be done by hand. Whatever it is, this is a great time to expand um, the connection within the family. So this is a great time. If this is happening in your fifth house rules creativity, it rules children. It also, the location is of the West. So if you have this in your fifth house right now, it's a great time to think about how can you expand in a westerly manner. If you're thinking of expanding your home, I would say, let's look at the West location and let's see what's there that we can either redo, remodel, or expand in. You may be able to take a trip out west. You may go to Yosemite, or you may, go to the California coast or something out west. You also will be considered to be very fertile if you are trying to start a family, or perhaps you don't want that anymore. It's a good thing to know to take precautions for doing so. But it's also, if you are, let's say, a grandparent, this is a great time for you to cultivate that expansion of your family tree, because it's going to be a very good opportunity for that to be happening. So, kind of set aside some time where you will be able to support your children and grandchildren in their growth process. This is fabulous. This is a great time, to be creative yourself, take out those paints and the easel and everything else and really get going, or writing, or doing something very creative that you liked to do when you were a child. We were all very free, and there were things that we loved to do. And whether it was dance, or whether it was, building blocks, or taking things apart and putting them back together, or um, you know basically learning a new skill or sport, and you were very creative at it, and you loved doing it, and it wasn't a chore. Those are the things that you want to bring back into your life right now, because you'll be able to perhaps build your wealth through your creativity in the future. And that's what Jupiter brings to you: a lot of joy, a lot of fun. In the sixth house, and the sixth house rules your job, it rules your health. And Sagittarians, like this full moon in Sagittarius, you might be finding that a lot of Sagittarians are really focusing in on their health right now. If you've got the North Node conjunct Jupiter right now in the sixth house, you're going to get opportunities for a new position, for new growth. I would say dust off that resume, update it, and perhaps throw a little glitter and sparkle on it. It's always a good thing to wrap it up in a red tie for Feng Shui and put it in the south. That's your fame. That's your fame location, so that your resume gets looked at. You're the one that they want to contact. But also, I'm going to say that your everyday life is going to be picking up, which means that you're going to have a lot more errands. You're going to have a lot more communication. You're going to be driving a lot. And, Sages love to travel. So this whole combination of the full moon in Sag, Jupiter rules Sag, it's conjunct your future, your North Node, where you're going right now. Make sure you check your gas tank. I always say to my husband, he's a Sag, I go, do you have gas? Do you have gasoline? Because and if always that light comes on and he's like, yeah, I gotta stop and get gas. I have Sag rising in Sag moon, so I'm always enthusiastic and bubbly. That's just my nature. And not a lot of people who do not have a lot of fire in their elements, they think that it's some type of an act or something like that. No, that's really how I am. I'm like that, and I'm full of humor. And but in the sixth house, you are going to be putting this towards what you do in everyday life, like, to make money, or also what you do to take care of your particular health regimen so that you can be the best that you can be. So you're going to be expanding on what is the healthiest thing for you, so you can be a working machine and be of service to others. And this is very, very important. And this is what's going to be taking you into the future, so you can sustain this next 20-year cycle I'm talking about, which is period 9. Things are going to be changing and moving at unbelievable speed. And you think you can't keep up now. Well, if you are lacking or deficient, or immune compromised, then it's really going to drag on you. Okay, so let's be the best that we can be. So if you are having this Jupiter is in your 6th house, tied to the North Node right now. I'm going to say opportunity is knocking at your door. Open the door. Say yes. And hi, Mary Chris. How are you? Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Mr. Bill says, I'm a Sag. Yes, he is a Sag. If it's in your 7th house rules contractual relationships. Okay. And that means learning lessons through teamwork, learning lessons with another person. That does mean that marriage is in that. Any type of relationship, I don't care if it's business or personal, it's going to expand. And if you are into a relationship that's going nowhere, you feel stuck, you're unhappy, you're losing money, you don't want to get up in the morning, you just want to cover your head, your partner is, you feel like you're sleeping with the enemy. These are the kinds of things that you need to get out of. And Jupiter is there to protect you. Jupiter is there to actually bring you into a happier future. So if you have been alone and you've been solo, this is the time that you could find that person. You could find somebody that actually gets you. That's actually on your level. And you might say, oh, that'll never happen to me, I'll never get that, blah 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 blah, poor me. And then all of a sudden you have this Jupiter that's in your 7th house and brings you such good luck with contacts, relationships. Not just that, but it's like so much fun. You're having so much fun that you you just forget about you know your bad attitude that you had before. Mary Chris says, Saggy here. Oh, great, great, great. And she's going to be releasing a new candle business. Well, such success to you. And that is a fire element. And that's what period 9 is all about. If you're going to package them, I would package them in, candles of 9, pick the colors. Awesome. Awesome idea there. The 8th house. The 8th house is it's really about intimacy. It's about experiencing relationships at a new level. The 8th house is also about inheritance. It's also about psychic ability, but in a way that is handed down to you through your family, through your threads, and through your shared DNA. So when we take a look at the 8th house, it really asks you about not only about your value again, but it asks you about growth in a way that you are promoting yourself. You're not taking advantage of another person or other resources. However, this is a time where you're being protected, where people will come forward and give you that loan. They'll come forward and say, okay, you've set this up right. I can see your business plan for expansion, and and you get the grant. And it's, yes, this is the time to do all of the above. This is the time that you're going to think to yourself, wow, this is great. Now, I don't want to say you can just walk in there willy-nilly and come up with a great story, because at the full moon with Sagittarius, Saturn's there. Saturn's saying, present your growth with believable boundaries, practicality, and use those practical numbers. Okay. Don't walk in there with fuzzy numbers. You need to back it up. You also need to not overextend yourself on credit. This is a fine time to work on the credit. If you have, if you've got student loans, if you've got, if you're at the top of your list as far as over expanding on your credit limits, or you want to work on your credit score, this is a time to do that. This is a great time to think about family trusts and living wills and different things that you can avoid probate, in a lot of different areas as well. Because when you do start making money, you have to know where it goes. You have to know how to protect it. Just like if you're starting to grow a tomato plant, you want to protect it. You want to put it in a little, in a little cage so that it can grow properly. You want to protect it. Too much sun's not good. You don't want, different insects getting to it. Those kinds of things. And that's what your money really is. And that's not only that, but that's what your credit is. Your credit is an indication of where you are as far as the reality of your expenditures. Okay. So, if you expend too much energy out there, you're going to come up short. So I just want to kind of go over that. In the ninth house, okay, if you have Jupiter in the North Node in the ninth house, this particular full moon in Sagittarius is really going to get you thinking about, because this ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius. It's really going to be, you're going to be thinking about spirituality. You're going to be thinking about your spiritual journey. You're going to be thinking about how to make just something mundane like a candle be more spiritual in people's lives. You're going to wrap maybe that candle business, you're going to wrap a prayer around them, or do something that has a spiritual journey tied to it. These are the kinds of things, or ceremony, that you can use these candles in. These are the kinds of things where you're going to be thinking about, okay, maybe not so much religious, but maybe spirituality, and how it can bring me into the future and expand my contacts, expand my wisdom, and really expand my connection to the Great Spirit, to the Creator, to God, to Source. So this is going to be a great time for you. I see, a lot of international travel. I see, you may be going to the other side of the planet to study a different philosophy. This is absolutely one of those long range expansions that definitely are in your particular future. The 10th house, this is the 10th piece of the pie in your 12-year cycle. This rules your fame. This rules your legacy. This rules what you're supposed to be doing on the planet for your career, for your purpose in life. This is going to all be highlighted. If you have your Jupiter and the North Node there, that means it's in Taurus. That means you're ready for change. You're getting yourself ready to change. You know you have to change for the future. You know that change is going to be your best friend, but you have to be secure in order to make those changes happen. So security, and that means financial security. That means that you want to make sure that these particular changes move you forward in a good way. That also is going to mean that your reputation will be intact. You're going to be famous, not infamous. All of these things really come into play. So it's one of those things where, um, you know, how to deal with fame, how to deal with fame. I spend a lot of time consulting people and removing blockages from their value of themselves so they can deal with success and fame, so they can handle the spotlight, so that they can inspire others through their story. And this is something that I think is going to be a time that, all those years that perhaps you were at the bottom of the Ferris wheel is going to come in so handy to inspire others, or the lessons that you learned. You can even create a financial security by sharing them and sharing, your life with others, and that's going to also make your fame go up. So there's a lot of feng shui cures for that. I'd love to tell you all about them, but I need to get through this. The 11th house. Okay, so you have Jupiter and the North Node there. What's this full moon going to do for me on June 3rd? What's it going to do for me? Well, I'll tell you what, you are going to make so many connections. And, Taurus, they're really kind of reserved if you know them. They're reserved. Another thing about Jupiter and the North Node being in Taurus, they're going to start clearing out their throat chakra. They're going to start using that beautiful voice that they have. They're tuned into the throat chakra. You're going to be hearing a lot of inventions, a lot of good things happening with the thyroid, with people who have neck issues. There's going to be a lot of, I want to say, different inventions, different ways of coping with the neck and the throat. You're going to have a voice. You're going to be heard. Not only are you going to put it out there, but these particular connections are going to have the same frequency that you do. And you are going to lend your voice to really good causes in a social way. And this is going to be fantastic. You're going to receive a lot of different opportunities. And I want you to say yes, yes, yes to all of them. This is through social media. This is through the work that you do. Your social circle is going to grow in the next year like crazy. And I want you to be prepared in how to sustain that and how to hang on to those contacts so that they don't get so many that you feel as though, oh, I've got a bunch of these strangers that are hanging around. Instead, you want to use them and you want to be very, very tied in, close knit, and really have a purpose about why these people are being attracted to you magnetically right now and how you can use them financially as a resource in the future. The 12th house. The 12th house is the final step. It's the final step in the cycle of Jupiter. And in the 12th house, you have a feeling that I have expanded my peace, my inner quiet, my soul growth has been implemented. I've acquired all of these houses, and now it's time for me to connect with Source to give back. And you will find that you will have an inner service to humanity through alone time, through being alone, through helping people who are alone. This could be through any type of hospital work or any type of, let's say, confinement. And that could come in any way, shape, or form. But people who feel as though they're confined, you help them. It's almost as if you, for the next year, if it's in the 12th house, walking, being on the planet and being quiet, being still, is having a rippling effect across the entire earth plane, because you've acquired all of these steps of wisdom and you are almost at rest knowing that you have reached this particular plateau. And we all know that when you grow, we look and we think it's up this way, but actually you're growing in cycles this way, and it swirls like this. This is how scalar energy works. Spiritual energy works like that. Material energy works like this or like this in a straight line. So your particular awareness of your completion, of your solidification of all of these levels, is something that takes a year to really kind of process. But you have this huge purpose that no matter where you go, what you do, you're going to be radiating all this wisdom out. You're going to be connecting with source through your spirituality, through your meditation, through your dreams. You're going to be also, because you've had 12 cycles, you're going to be thinning out the veil even more and really up leveling your psychic ability. It's a huge last step of the 12 cycles of Jupiter. So I hope that helped you. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. I just want to do a blast right now. I am doing a seminar on the period 9 of Feng Shui Flying Stars on June 19th. Please check my website, kimlalo.com. If you have any questions, if there's something that perhaps is coming up for you with this full moon, this opportunity that's happening to you, and you need me to fine tweak it, or you need me to contact perhaps your guides and validate, exactly what you're doing and the futuristic path you're contemplating on. Sometimes you're not sure if you should go this way or that way, with whom, with not. I'm here to help you as well. And if there's any kind of question, let's see. Yes, and Mary Chris is talking about relaunching her candle business. So if you wanted to put in exactly how do we get a hold of your business, Mary Chris, so that we can all be very supportive of your relaunch. Just put it right in there, put it in the comments, and I'll be sure to highlight that for you. Okay, the card of the day, here we are. I am unfolding in fulfilling ways. Only good can come to me. I now express health, happiness, prosperity, and peace of mind. I am in the process of positive change. That was from Louise Hay and her deck of positive comments, one for each day. I want to tell everyone also that, so many people, there's so much going on at such a fast rate right now. I also want to just say how important alone time is, that you need, with all of this fire energy and all of this expansion and all of these changes that are going to be coming in for us. Alone time is so important. And when I mean alone time, you're never alone. You're always connected to source and your guides, and of course, the network that's always positively around you. But to have a space, a sacred space where you can go and you can breathe and you can listen, not only listen to your own heartbeat and listen to your own breath, but listen to your own guidance. Your higher self is off planet right now, guiding you. And you too can open up through the crown chakra and you can connect to your higher self and you can see the future. You can see what Jupiter is going to be bringing you. You can see the change. You can see perhaps where there are specific places in your life that aren't as positive as you want them to be. I'm here to help you, but you can do it. You can do it. So, thank you so much for coming along with me. And until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Good night, everyone.